So, what would you be hacking here? I think... Yeah, let's take the concussive defenders. So, also, we should be taking on more energy because we need it. 1, 2, and 3. Because we will be hacking more ships here. We can hack 2 more ship designs. Now we can... Oh yes, nucleophilic defenders. They are amazing. They are the bee's knees. They do so much damage. And more nucleophilic protectors. Even though it's at 27, this is absolutely worth it. As you can see, they already deal almost 5,000 DPS from the base value, but they also deal 6 times against enemies with high energy cost, which is a lot of important enemies. So, and then we need to think about what we are going to do here, but I think if we doomstack our fleets, we can easily take this out. I don't think we need extra turrets. Our Regen Golem is very tanky. And while it isn't it's not exactly the best at single target damage, it most certainly can do a lot to big amounts of enemies. Here's our suppressing riot control cruiser. Yeah, I'm liking this. It has a bubble force field, so I was right. And
energy low. Force fields vulnerable to disruption.
It almost looks like this is a modular ship design, but I'm not seeing the pop-up here that we can spend modules or anything. Oh well. I suppose this is a good time to start reading some of the logs, maybe. Before that is... Oh, it's just a single. It's a cruiser, yeah. Let's just read some of the journals, that is. The migrant. Commander, our scanners on Tachikawa have reported that a much larger vessel has arrived from the wormhole, before the wormhole immediately closed behind it. From what we can see, the ship dubbed the Roaming Enclave, while weak by itself, has some of the most potent acidic weaponry we have ever seen. Interestingly, the moment the wormholes stopped, so did the production of the youngling craft. It appears the Roaming Enclave lacks the capabilities to create younglings by itself. The ship is broadcasting a relatively confused signal that we are struggling to decrypt, but we have roughly translated it at the bottom of this entry. Regardless of the signal's intent, the previous signal of friendship the younglings had is also being broadcast by this enclave, so it may be in our interest to investigate in person. Translation: confusion. Matter yet again. To us it's fail. We must find a new home, probably. Younglings must not be in vain. Safety, new clanlings. Well. Yeah, we have a lot more. Zenith Architrave first detected. Commander, long-range sensors have identified some interesting new Zenith forms. They seem to be very territorial, so attacking their territory sounds like a good way to get into a major war. The Architrave is an expeditionary force from a powerful Zenith empire located in another universe. Projecting force into this universe is very expensive for them, and they will only do so sporadically, to fight other Architraves, to defend themselves, or on their infrequent attempts to expand. When at peace, ships that can't be stored inside spawners will attrition slowly over time, since the Architrave can't afford to maintain them. Interesting that they can't maintain ships, but they don't seem to have any problems building them anew. Lore about the Warden Fleet. Commander, we've detected an AI subroutine currently called the Warden Fleet due to the almost entirely defensive behavior. Current data suggests it is a constantly active force, perpetually being replenished up to some unseen amount. It seems reasonable to expect this amount to increase as we alert the AI more. Due to the strong defensive behavior, it appears unlikely this Warden Fleet will ever attack us directly and may entirely avoid our worlds, which may be something we can use by preventing it from ever gathering in full force in one location. We have some lore about interdimensional Zenith. The Zenith have long been thought to be a civilization entirely in ruins. Their war machines and automations litter our galaxy, but the few remaining living sentient citizens have long been thought to be either solitary or almost feral fragments. Now something new is happening. Citizens from multiple Zenith civilizations in their prime are being discovered. Where did they come from, or where have they been? We already know, in other dimensions. Or at least in other universes, I guess. The theory that seems to be most likely true, as odd as this is to say, is that these specimens are from adjacent universes in the multiverse. The existence of the multiverse itself has been incontrovertibly established by our scientists for centuries at this point, but this would be the first observed instance of anything passing between universes. Well, I guess in one entry they sound absolutely certain. They know that they come from another universe and that they can maintain forces here unless they cost a lot, whatever. And here it's all just hypothesis. It is possible that there is another explanation, and that these new Zenith have been hiding in plain sight in our galaxy for some unknown reason. But these seem to be small parts of a far grander empire that still exists. And so the simplest explanation is oddly to look to the multiverse. The Zenith minor probe spotted. Commander, we've detected a probe emanating Zenith energy signatures. It seems to be broadcasting a homing signal out into the galaxy, and the return pulses indicate that there might be a very powerful Zenith ship inbound. When that powerful ship does arrive, then we're going to be in for a major battle. It looks like the other Zenith devices we've seen over the years. If it's like the other Zenith devices we've seen over the years, we might be able to interact with its system using hacking. Some lore about the Zenith in general. This is a long one. The Zenith aliens are a truly ancient race who were the undisputed masters of most of our galaxy as of recently as a few million years ago. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, however, their civilization crumbled, leaving a galaxy littered with the remnants of their past glory. The exact cause of the destruction of the Zenith Empire is not known to humanity at this time, but what is clear is that it did not completely obliterate all specimens of that race. Instead, it fragmented them and scattered them to the stars. Some ply trade with other species, organic or otherwise. Some simply roam around in an amoral state, devouring things. Most of what is left of the race are broken derelicts that humans have taken to calling golems, which are largely to the Zenith what an android is to a human. These golems share the shapes of their old masters, but not the independent thinking and free will. There are also occasional Dyson spheres left behind by the Zenith, but these are also more machine than organism. All Zenith automations include both mechanical and organic parts, and the Zenith Dyson spheres do not include something that is bordering on sentience, but they were never meant to be independent actors. They were not citizens, they have no culture, no goals beyond the tasks that they were assigned to them by all those millennia ago. Pockets of living Zenith are much more rare but do exist. The Zenith trader offers no communication, but travels the cosmos plying for wares for unknown reasons. It is speculated to be sentient, but intensely private. Okay. For now, it's impossible to know for sure. The Dark Zenith are much more clearly sentient, and have also very evidently had a rough time of it. They also seem disinclined for conversation, but their weaponry and construction and tactics is not the work of automations. The Zenith built some nomad planets, and the Zenith miners devour planets to power their remorseless engines. Untangling the history of the Zenith, if any remains, would likely be the work of generations. For now, we know a few things, but the sheer scope of what was lost and what remains but is hidden is almost unthinkable. We do know that their citizens started out no larger than a large land vehicle, and then would grow over the course of decades to the bulk of a mid-sized starship. Thanks to a unique biology that they are constantly augmented with mechanical parts, they seem to be able to move in and out of the atmosphere and exist in vacuum without issue. Depending on what functions they wish to take on, citizens could shape themselves for many different purposes, ranging from war to science or philosophy. So hang on, the door is... Alright, sorry about that. The migrants, the arrival. Commander, a roaming enclave has managed to safely arrive in our territory. Once it arrived, it seemed to realize it was no longer being fired at. It began slowly moving around the planet, almost as though it's looking for something. Our scientists have been preparing for this for a long time now, and they were not disappointed. The moment that the roaming enclave arrived, scanners picked up huge energy reading within it. Picked up huge energy readings, probably, within it. As best we can tell, there are two large power sources within the roaming enclave, one situated towards the center of the ship and another towards its engines. We have managed to translate even more of its language, but it's still quite rough. Translation: curious, the watered by the crew, perhaps? Yes, a good nest indeed. And then the nanocost invasion begins. Commander, we've detected a swarm of nanobots invading the galaxy. We're calling it the nanocost. Their weapons can assimilate ships and ships they destroy into their fleet, making them a truly terrifying foe. We must be wary. Yeah, we most certainly must be. That was a lot of text. Now, what should we be doing next? This planet should be defended. We have a good amount of civilians here. We have a couple of migrants here. We have a command station at the edge of the system and a complete complement of 6 gravity generators. We are fairly low on hacking points now, but we also have 15,000 and a couple science, and we are not getting any more, I think. Or is this looking... Oh yeah, we are getting a couple more. So what would we want to invest into? Difficult choice. We have more than 5 minutes here, so it's not worth going there just yet. But I think it's worth going back now. Actually, I think I would want somewhere in the galaxy these militia barracks. We have the metal for it, so I think it's a wise choice to go for them. Let me just build enough converters in order to get them. 1, 2, 3, and 4 should be doing it. Oh no, not yet. We need another. We are converting a lot of metal into this. Yeah, we will probably need to upgrade economic tax soon. We are still getting a decent income. We're just also spending a lot of resources, I would imagine. Though not here, I'm not sure where we are spending it.